2, 1.
Hello folks, my name is Eric Olson. I'm a co-organizer of the Montana Shrug Tea Party Patriot Group here in Billings, Montana. You've seen us on the streets for the past year. We're concerned about issues, that's why we rally. We have 1,700 members in that range, and through that 1,700 members, we actually contact, we think, 300 to 500,000 people every time we email an urgent issue out. And we're growing every day. You can get a hold of Montana Shrugged at our website, which is montanashrugged.com. So please contact us and keep this movement growing. I've got my guest here will be Blaine Dillon from the Columbus Tea Party Group. We'll talk to him in a minute, but I just want to touch on a couple of news issues that are important today. Cap and trade, we'll touch on that briefly. Is in the news again. It's in the 2011 budget. Roughly $800 billion is planned to put carbon taxes on anybody that consumes carbon, coal, natural gas, oil products. It'll be a huge burden on the American public. That's why we are concerned about it. The Montana Policy Institute just came up with a study that said it could be $200+ a month increase in your power bills. Most of the people we talk to can't afford $50 a month of extra bills right now, so please contact your congressmen and senators. Tell them that's a no-go. We got health care is a huge issue still. We've delayed that for almost a year now with all our actions across America with the Tea Parties. But the president's telling everybody he's going to get in sessions with the congressmen and senators and try to get some form of health care in there. It's pretty much a federally run system. We have a doctor on our team who has read the bills, and it's scary stuff. We don't want anything to do with federal run government health care. Just look at where the Indian nations are at. In fact, we had a rally just past early this week in Hardin, Montana, with the Indian group down there. The Crow Nation has a tea party started up, and we've been helping them get their tea party started. And they have substandard education, substandard health care. We're worried that that's where America's going to end up. So we're helping them promote their cause for a better life down there. Budgets are a big issue. We talked about them last time I was in town. And federal budget's bust. It's $1.6 trillion deficit. The president wants to start a panel to figure out why we have deficits. Well, it's pretty obvious. If you cut spending, we won't have deficits. It doesn't need a panel to decide that. The state of Montana had a $250 million surplus, and now it's down to, projected by the governor at $50 million or so, might be surplus next year, but we have inside information that says we could be as bad as $500 million in the hole next year. I think Governor Schweitzer's actually hoping he sells his coal deal, so you'll get that $250 million, cash infusion from that, so he'll look like a hero when his day's over, but that's a big risk he's taken. We coined a new acronym this past week, why we have such problems with business and industry and taxes in this country, and it's called COED, C-O-E-D, Chronic Obstructive Environmental Disease, and this has been affecting industries across America for 30 years. We've got to stop this and help these businesses thrive. All right. We've got an issue coming up locally here, and that's the districting for elections coming up. Last time the Democrats got a hold of this, they drew some funny blobs across the state to get more Democrats in districts so they could get more Democrats into the House over there. So everybody needs to watch for the dates and get your public input on that. We'll talk about that more. It's in April when all that stuff's happening. Property taxes are a big issue. I know mine doubled this year, and a lot of people are upset with the way they did the property tax valuations on your properties. I suggest you all protest them any chance you get. There are some lawsuits coming down now that are going to address this issue. So watch for those. We'll keep you posted. Watch our website, our email list. Get on there, and we'll keep you appraised of what's going on with property taxes. We're trying to get them reduced back to 6-year-ago levels because the economy's not doing that good right now. We've been pretty busy with the Tea Party. If you've seen, we made front page on the Billings Gazette last week for our rallies last week. And there was a good write-up on us, almost a full page. And then we had the Tea Party with the Crow Nation on Monday. That made the third page, but it was a good write-up. And then the video made some internet or some national websites. So we've been busy there. I know there's bunch of mill levies coming up for the school district number 2. Watch for those. Unfortunately, they want to increase your taxes, not reduce them, or reduce the staff. So we've got to try to convince people government people have to feel the pain like the private main street sector feels the pain. Okay, I'm going to introduce my guest. His name is Blaine Dillon from Nye, Montana. He's, and I'll shake his hand now. Thanks for coming to the show, Blaine.
Glad to be here.
Blaine is married to his wife, Anne Marie. He has 5 grown children and 3 grandchildren, and I have 2 grandchildren myself, so I know that keeps you busy. He's a retired enforcement officer out of Tennessee. He's a U.S. Army veteran. We thank him for his past service. He's part owner of a business in Tennessee, but he lives in Montana now, moved here in January 2006. He enjoys outdoors like all of us up here in Montana, and he just loves the friends he's met in this state, and Blaine's a good friend of ours. He's working with the Tea Party out of Columbus, Montana. It's called Freedom and Liberty Tea Party Group, Stillwater County. And he's also got a conservative website, which is www.b-a-patriot.com. So we'll let him tell you a little bit about that, and then we're going to discuss early on in this conversation the 17th Amendment. All right, Blaine. What is the 17th? Or why don't you tell us a little about your groups and what you've done in Stillwater, and then we'll get into the 17th Amendment.
Okay, well, last summer, the Tea Party movement was going strong all across the country, and we decided we needed to do something locally. A lot of the rural residents of Montana can't make it into Billings or some of the larger cities on a regular basis to be involved, but they wanted to be involved, so we started our group there. And I'd also, before we get any farther, I want to congratulate you on what you've done here in Billings with the Montana Shrug Group. I know you've led Montana in the Tea Party movement since it started.
Well, thank you for that. It's been hard work, but we keep at it.
And you know, there's lots of emails, lots of phone calls, a lot of interaction with people, but you've been doing a great job.
All right, thank you.
Our group is a smaller group out there in Stillwater County. We also have some people from Sweetgrass County and Carbon County that are involved with our group. We have about 130 people, and we meet once a month for regular meetings to discuss topics and plan future events. And we're planning on doing an event in April, and then one on the 4th of July, and again in September. So that's our main projects we have planned for this year. And of course, this is all gearing up towards the midterm elections in November, and just trying to spread the word of conservatism and smaller government.
Absolutely. I know we attended and helped support you on your 4th of July event, which was well attended, and then we also made it to your 9/12 event. One thing we find in the big cities, and we've told you that, is being the big city, we have to have permits here, and we have to have insurance to do most of our functions, so it's a costly affair. Generally around $1,100 to throw an affair in this town, so we've opted to go to places like Columbus and help you guys out and make the crowds bigger and get the news there. I know we had the news at the July 4th one, and so it's good.
Yeah.
And your 9/12 one was a good deal. We had some good speakers there, and then we videotape everything, and you know that, so we've got all that up on YouTube. So if people want to see what happened in Columbus, it's all on YouTube under Montana Shrug. You can look at all that stuff.
Yes.
We appreciate what you're doing. We know you got distances are a problem in Montana. You know, we just did the Great Falls thing with the Republican kickoff, and a lot of us Tea Party guys showed up there, but it's a long drive from here, and there were some issues with snow and ice. So, patriots like we are, we made it, and we made the Republicans nervous, and they're definitely looking to work with us out there. So that's a good deal.
Yeah, I've kept track of your travels during the last year, and I see that you're all over the place. Bozeman. And you're at Great Falls, and you're all over the place. And you're doing a lot of miles, but it's good work you're doing.
Yeah, well, appreciate it. I think the main thing you want to talk about today is 17th Amendment, and a lot of people we recommend reading the Constitution so they understand that. But the 17th Amendment is basically the amendment that says that we